Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of You Ought to Know Live, seen and heard live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on YouAutoKnowLive.com, part of the Hangout10.com network. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm Dave Serio, host of the radio show You Ought to Know, seen and heard in the Baltimore area and also in Frederick, Maryland. That's every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. till noon. 5 hours of You Ought to Know in Baltimore and in Frederick. Got a couple of my friends with me. Got Mr. Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop. Good evening, Mr. Mike.
Good evening, Dave. Nice to be here.
You too, sir. Good to have you. I almost said good morning because usually when we talk, it's morning. So good to talk to you. You've got a beautiful car behind you.
Yeah, we have a 2004 Ford GT.
And if you look at the in your background, I don't know if you can see yourself here, but the glass has the reflection of the red and white striped car. It really is pretty.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful car. Very, very nice car. You had a little bit of an incident with it. Had some paint work, so we kind of had to redo the coating that we had on it. So it was a nice, easy day today.
Very good, very good. And that has a coating that you put on, what, about a year and a half ago?
I think it's been about a year and a half.
Right, and it looks like it's holding up well.
Oh yeah, it's held up really well. We only had to I redid the top of it just to make it easy on myself, but the rest of it's holding up real well. Wheels are holding up real well, and of course it doesn't see, the elements like a daily driver, but it's everything's been doing real good with it.
Very good, very good. So how are you, sir? What's going on in your world of detailing?
Good. We're busy. I can't complain at all. A lot of new stuff going on. We're getting ready to introduce a new product line called Guyon from Hong Kong. It's a line of ceramic coatings and protections for wheels and tires and glass and things like that we're real excited about.
Do they give a warranty with that?
Yes, on the top of the line coating, which we'll be offering, it's a 2-year warranty. But we like this company. We like this company because they rate their durability as far as more along the real world terms. The product that I'll be trying on my own car has a durability rating of 150 car washes.
Okay.
And that's machine automatic car washes, they call them. So that kind of gives you a little bit better idea of how long the coating will last versus just a time length.
Very good. So it's called Guyon.
Yes, Gyon. It's only been in this country for about a week and a half.
Okay. So
it's a relatively new product, and we're dealing with a company out of Indianapolis, unfortunately. That's
it's okay, especially after Sunday, huh?
Yeah, that's true. But it's called Esoteric Car Care, and his name is Todd Cooperrider, and he's very well known in the detailing community, and he does a lot of research before he brings the product in. So we're real happy.
Well, very good. Very good. Looking forward to hearing more about that. And
yes.
Coming up on the 18th of October, which is about 10 days from now, 11 days from now, you and I, you're always there, it seems like. That's always a good thing. But I'm going to be at Hunt Valley Horsepower doing the radio show live, and that's going to be a special event for Toys for Tots.
Yeah, that's their last special event for the year, and it's for the Toys for Tots, and it's another large showing. We hope the weather cooperates, and couple of 100 cars at least will be there.
Have you heard anything about how people can donate to Toys for Tots? Is it a cash donation, or they want people to bring toys, or what?
I have not heard anything as of yet, but I'm sure that Rich will put something out, and as soon as I know, you'll know.
Sounds good, buddy. We'll be back with you in just a few moments. Got a couple more people to talk to, okay?
Thank you.
Michael Lambert from the Shine Shop. Contact number is 410-833-1632, and as you may be able to read on the screen, his website is theshineshopAutoDetailing.com, and all the information is on there about the products he uses and also the type of automobiles he details. Let's go to Mr. Dave Winward from Jasper Engines. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well tonight, sir. Good to talk to you. God bless somebody. All right. So, Jose, God bless you. And now, too late to mute him now. Somebody muted him now, but it's too late now. Anyway, Dave, good to talk to you this evening. You're from Jasper Engines and Transmissions, and that is a company that remanufactures automatic transmissions, engines, differentials on automobiles and trucks, and even transfer cases, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And tell us a little bit about what's going on in the world of Jasper right now.
Well, super busy as always. lots of transmissions. I had some good information this evening on some of the high-tech machinery we have as far as boring out engine cylinders. That's always a point of interest when people talk about rebuilding engines. Everyone wants to know how we bore the cylinders out. So I have
as long as you don't bore the listeners out, we're okay.
What's that?
As long as you don't bore the listeners out, we're okay.
Oh, it's going to be boring.
Oh, no. Listen, don't advertise it to them. Folks, don't listen to them. It's going to be great stuff. You're going to love it.
But I'll keep the video short. It's very short, but we have some really neat CNC engine boring equipment, and we also use a new process called torque plate boring. And the video clip I have shows the process in which we're doing that.
Okay. All right. So we'll be back with you in just a few minutes to do that, Mister. Okay.
All right. And I also have a couple pictures from over the weekend. I got to attend the national event at Maple Grove Raceway, which was awesome. We had some cars out there with Jasper exposure on them and did really well. So I was excited about that.
Very good. That sounds great. Well, right now we're going to go to Jose. He's muted right now. So there he goes. He unmuted himself. So Jose Bueso from Dynamic Automotive. You're only one of the dynamic duo, huh?
Yeah, Todd had to leave this evening. He couldn't join us, but he'll probably be back next week.
Great. Well, it's good to have you, Jose. And Dynamic Automotive has 3 locations in the Frederick, Maryland area. So tell us about those 3 locations, buddy.
Sure. We are located in Liberty Town. That's the shop I'm in. My phone number here is 301-694-6250. We do all kinds of general repair and service work, both on trucks and cars. We also do diesel work, and we're pretty keen on diagnostics also. And we have our original shop in Newmarket, Maryland. That phone number there is 301-694-5460. You'll talk to Sarah and or Lee at that location. Lee's my other partner. That location is actually in the process of getting a facelift.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, we are probably going to put a mural, if this all goes through as planned, depicting the history of Newmarket and the people, the buildings, and how everything in that general area has evolved. And it's going to take up the whole rear face of the building.
Neat.
So we're going to have a meeting with the Newmarket Town Council this Thursday to talk about specifics. So we're looking forward to doing that. We're redoing the lot at that location. It's time. We've been at that location in March of next year. It'll be 20 years that we have been at that location.
Very good. But you're not going to expand the building, though. You're going to stick with the 2 bays then.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have a third location in Urbana, Maryland, right off the 270. That location boasts a full quick heat facility up front, 4 bays, a 9-bay general repair shop, and a 60-foot soft cloth car wash. As a matter of fact, that's Michael Lambert's favorite car wash in Maryland.
It is. I heard him say many times, if he ever goes through an automatic car wash, it would be the one at Dynamic Automotive in Urbana.
And that is really a compliment. That really is. Him being the extreme detailer that he is, and I'm kind of proud of that. Yeah. So
it's a clean car wash. I mean, it really is.
It is, and we've refurbished that here recently. We've got a nice light show going through there. I enjoy that quite a bit when I go through there in my truck or my cars. And car wash season is upon us, so we're going to get busier and busier and busier. As a matter of fact, business has just turned around. Last week I was saying how slow we were in September, but it's like somebody flicked a switch and we are just slammed now.
Great. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yes. I'm glad to hear that. It's that advertising on that radio show that does it. That's what it does.
That's what does it. Yeah.
I'm glad you're going busy. That's fantastic. All 3 locations, I hope, are doing very well. And we're going to be back with you in just a few minutes, Jose, okay?
Thank you, Dave. Good to be here tonight.
All right, buddy. You too. Good to have you. All right, we're back to Mike Lambert for just a moment, and Mike once again is from the Shine Shop, which you are an extreme detailer. That's what I like to describe you as. One car per day, like this GT right behind you, the Ford GT. That was really with you just one day. That was the only one here today, right?
Yeah, and it really didn't need a whole lot of work. We spent probably 4 or 5 hours just polishing the top of the car out. It had some paint work done on the front nose, so it had a little bit of overspray, which is expected from coming out of the body shop, and so we cleaned all that up and just polished the car out and recoated the top. So it was 4 or 5 hours of polishing and then putting the coating on and just cleaning up the rest of the car. Didn't do much on the interior, so it was a nice, easy day.
And you do paint correction also.
Yes.
To a certain extent. I mean, I'm not saying that you do body work, but in a situation like that where you found overspray, you can work on that area of the vehicle and remove the overspray. Yeah,
we do that with just detailing clay, something anybody can do, and it wasn't that bad, so we didn't have to get too aggressive with it, which was good. But if you have a ceramic coating on a car, a clay bar will tend to damage it, kind of hazes it up, so then you really need to polish out the car. And since the front needed to be recoated anyway, we just went ahead and just recoated the whole top of the car.
Now, what was the process? I assume, now correct me if I'm wrong, did you have to remove some of the coating that you placed on this car about 1.5 years ago?
Yes, we did. We removed everything on the top, and that was done by using a polishing compound, a pretty aggressive polish, because it's so tough to get off. And then once we wipe the car down, we can go back and recoat it just like we would if we were starting from day one.
Now, the removal of that, is it by hand or by buffer?
By machine. You'll never get it off by hand, unless you sand it off.
Right.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, the coatings are just so durable that it really requires pretty aggressive polishing to remove it.
Now, dumb question, but how do you know when the coating's removed?
When we spray the degreaser on it that we use to wipe to prep the car for the coating to make sure it's clean. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't beat up, then you know the coating's gone. So it'll kind of just lay on there and be flat.
Yeah.
It'll wet the car, but it won't beat up like wax.
Maybe that wasn't a dumb question, because that's
there's such thing as a dumb question.
Oh yeah, just dumb answers. But it isn't easy to see to the naked eye though that the coating is gone. Correct?
No, you won't. You can't see it because it's crystal clear. So you won't see a rough edge like if you sanded it or something like that. You won't see that. It's just you have to just spray the degreaser on and just see how that reacts.
Now
usually if you compound it and polish it, it's gone.
Right.
It just takes a little while, but it's gone.
Now, dumb question again.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, you miss an area trying to remove the coating, and then you try to put another coating on top of that. What happens?
It basically rejects itself, meaning it'll beat up like it's a spot that's waxed. The coating will just separate and beat up, so you know you've missed a spot. You just go back and polish that again and go through the whole process again. So.
Okay. Very good. Interesting stuff. And you've been now doing the coatings for about 2 years now, right?
Yeah, we've been doing the C-Quartz coating for about 2 years. And as we were talking off the air, we've had a little difficulty with their pricing structure. So we're moving into a new product line. And I'm really impressed with the literature I've read and from talking to the gentleman that's been using it. It's harder, it's slipperier, and it's shinier than what we've been using. So I think we're gonna kind of lean in that direction.
And you're going to use your vehicle, your beautiful 2012 Black Challenger, or 13. What do you have, a 13?
13.
Yeah, 2013 Black Challenger RT as the guinea pig vehicle, huh?
Yeah, I won't put it on a customer's car until I know it works. So I'm going to hopefully get mine done this weekend, and then we ordered a different product of theirs I'm going to do on my wife's cars, and that'll be a really good test because it sits outside 24/7. So.
Right.
We'll see how that works.
Yeah, Elaine has talked to me a couple times, and she's vying for the garage space, so be careful.
No, I think I'm going to get her, if Jose offers gift certificates to the car wash for Christmas, I think I'm going to get her a big book.
That's excellent.
There you go.
She likes to go to Frederick, so that'll be a good thing. She can drive up there and get her car washed and look around Frederick.
There you go. 410-833-1632. The Shine Shop, autodetailing.com, and the business is called The Shine Shop in Reisterstown, Maryland. And Mike, pleasure to have you hanging there with us. We'll get back to you, okay, buddy?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, back with Dave Windward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Let's go to that video, Mr. Dave, and show us how boring you can be.
Yeah, this is my boring video, so let me see if I can pull this up.
For those of you that don't know, there is a town in Maryland, right near Mr. Mike Lambert, called Boring, Maryland, and they have a Boring volunteer fire department. And I took a picture of the sign one time when they accidentally didn't have anything on it, and I sent that into a TV show many, many years ago that liked that kind of stuff, and they aired it. It said Boring Volunteer Fire Department, and the sign was completely blank. I thought it was hilarious. All right, let's see that video, Mr. Dave.
All right, let's see if I can get this playing again.
Okay.
So this is actually looking on the other side. So when I play this video, I kind of pause it and walk everyone through it.
Okay.
But this is that's the actual boring bar. Now you see that big thick plate with all the bolts in. That's called a torque plate. And the purpose of that torque plate is to actually simulate that the head is already bolted to the engine block. When you bolt a head up to the engine block, it actually distorts the metal and distorts the cylinders. So what we're trying to do is simulate that the head's already bolted down, so when we bore it, it actually makes a perfect circle. Now when you take that torque plate off, the circle changes until you bolt that head back down. So it's a very, very accurate way of machining a block. And this is stuff that we learned from NASCAR and our involvement with NASCAR. And I don't know that any other remanufacturer is taking these additional steps as far as we do. But I'll play this for a second. You can't even really see the bar move, but it's moving very slowly. And then there's the some of the computer readouts that they set up to do the machining. Yeah, that's a Rottler machine. That is state of the art. This is best of the best.
Very good.
Now after this process is done, we actually leave that torque plate on and we take it to a CNC honing device, which when you bore the cylinders, you bore them, you just leave a teeny bit of metal left, and then you go to a honing machine, and that actually puts the correct surface finish that's set up for the piston rings that you're using, your cylinder to piston clearance. That final hone is, we're talking thousandths of an inch. So that's our boring video, Dave.
Well, I tell you, that is the most interesting boring video I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Very good.
I did have a few pictures to share. I thought were pretty.
Okay. Sure.
This is. Let me see if I can pull. This might start playing again. This is This is our friend. This is Mr. Jack Gadosh. He is from Dundalk, Maryland, and he is a professional pro stock driver in the NHRA circuit. And he's pointing to the Jasper sticker I kind of snuck on the side of his car. The neat thing, I have another picture. I don't have it loaded up, but right behind him on the driver or on the passenger side window and the driver's side window is a sticker that says "Let's Go O's."
Oh, I see.
And, this is a local guy. Him and his wife. He's been racing for a long time. I'm talking, very limited budget. He owns another business that he pretty much funds his racing with. He's a full-time technician at a local shop in Baltimore, and he actually qualified 13th out of. They only take 16 racers in these national events. He qualified 13th and ran the quarter mile in 6.57 seconds at 210 miles an hour. And so he's getting to the point where these pro stock drivers, we're not talking about the difference between a second or a tenth of a second. These guys are within 100th and 1,000th of a second of each other. So he went a 6.57. The top qualifier, I believe, was Erica Enders, and I think she ran a 6.53. So we're talking a couple hundredths of a second there. And Sunday he jumped the light a little bit too quick and got a red light, but what a great showing he had for the weekend. So we're really proud of him and bringing he brings a lot of pride to Baltimore with what he's put together.
Very good.
But you'll like this picture, Dave. This is one of the pictures that just kind of caught my eye at the event. You've heard of the Ford Mustang Cobra Jet? the special edition for racing only.
Yes.
Well, this guy, he didn't have one of them. He actually, let's see if this pulls up. He actually had 5 of them.
Wow.
And 2 tractor trailers. So,
I assume that, yes.
and these cars were running 8.8 seconds in the quarter mile, and that was in super stock trim, which is a very limited amount of things you can do to the car. But yeah, he had 5 of them lined up. He had a whole team, so he's doing pretty good there.
Now that comes from the factory like that, and he just has to do some minor modifications, or
yeah, and the class he's running, they only allow certain modifications. They do allow you to do things. You can take the engine apart and do certain modifications, but not a whole lot. So of course the wheelie bars aren't stock. The wheels and tires, the Hoosiers on the back aren't stock, but these things, right off the showroom floor, and they don't even have VIN codes. They cannot be tagged. They come from Ford as a full race vehicle. They can't be insured, and I don't know what the price tag is, but I know there's a long waiting list, and I know it's a hefty price tag. And
I'm sure they're probably 120 to 150, I would think.
yeah, so that's probably, what do you think? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's probably $700,000 plus
probably,
the modifications. That's $1 million sitting there at least.
Easy. Yeah.
But the other quick story I had, I was with a super stock team, and they were also out of Dundalk. And a really neat story, Gary Ewing and his 2 brothers bought a brand new Camaro in 1969. And they drove it for 2 weeks on the road, and it turned into a race car. So they've been racing the same car since 1969 in the super
that's amazing.
class. So I got to help them out. And I got there Saturday morning. We had actually stayed in a hotel, went back to the track. And the cool thing was I had an actual crew pass. So I was able to drive my car right through the pits, right through, people walking down the pits, and, just drive right through, get back to my parking spot. So this gentleman comes and he parks beside me in a Dodge Caravan. He rolls down the window. He says, "Hey, is this spot open?" I said, "Yeah, the gentleman that was here last night with his trailer got, he didn't make qualifications, so he left." I said, "I don't think he's coming back." He says, "Can I park here?" I said, "Sure." So he gets out and he starts walking away. Well, Gary Ewing gets out of the RV, and he looks at this guy and he says, "Hey, Ron," and he kind of gave me an elbow, like, "What are you doing?" And this guy comes walking over. I had no idea who this guy was. And he starts talking, and, obviously he was somebody. And I got a picture. It was actually Ron Capps. He's the funny car driver for Napa, professional funny car driver.
Okay.
One of the top fuel funny car drivers in the world. He's asked me for a parking space. I didn't even know who he was. So,
and he's driving a Caravan.
Yeah, it was a rental car. It was a rental car. Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God.
He walked away, and Gary gave me a good stiff elbow. He's like, "Dave, do you have any idea who that was?" I said, "No, I really don't." And, so that was funny, but really, really nice guy.
You have a picture of the '69 Camaro?
I do. If you give me a second, if you want to jump over to someone else, I got to pull it up. But yeah, I do have a really good.
I will do exactly that. When we come back, we'll see the car that's been raced since 1969 in the Maryland area, and we're going to talk with Jose. Jose,
guys, I got to go. I'll see you all later.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Appreciate you being with us tonight, buddy.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right, see you. Thanks. Mike Lambert had to leave. There's a meeting with Apple on the computer that Lena needs, and he had to get out of here. So, Jose, good to see you once again. Some pretty interesting stuff from Dave with the racing.
Yeah, that is. I've been to Maple Grove, and that's a fantastic raceway. I've been there 3 times. I got a chance to watch the funny cars and the rails run down the track, which is amazing to me. The amount of noise that those automobiles and engines generate is.
Oh man!
Yeah. If you don't have earplugs, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Yes, that's the truth.
Yep.
And they had a great crowd, and I got to see a lot of names that we all know there, all the popular headliners, and we were part of the Uni-Select team over there. We were their guests, and we had some great things to eat and great hospitality in the building, watching all the racing going on. It's been a great 3 years actually visiting Maple Grove, and there's another track that we visit here on the East Coast up towards New York that we also get to, but I can't remember the name of the track. It'll come to me here shortly, but but I enjoy that type of racing so much. It's so very exciting.
You're not talking about Watkins Glen, are you?
No, I have been to Watkins Glen for the American Grand Prix back in '73, '74.
Wow, you are old.
Yeah, that was an incredible experience watching the Formula One racers, racers from all around the world. I got a chance to meet Niki Lauda at that time. I was just a youngster, and I got to meet one of the world's greatest drivers and watch him in action. And that will always, forever be in my memories. That was a lot of fun.
Well, I'm sure you probably heard about the Formula One driver that has got injured over the last day or so in critical condition right now. So our prayers go out to him. It's such a dangerous sport. But, you forget about the danger when you go out there and you see these guys racing, and they all look like they're so protected. But, things still can go very, very wrong.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah. They had a very rainy event in Japan. Of course, the hurricane, the typhoon was affecting the track, and I did see part of the race, and I had not gotten up to that point where the accident had occurred. It's a shame that has happened, but Formula One has not lost a racer in quite a few years, which is a good thing.
Right.
It used to be such a dangerous sport, and during the late 60s and 70s, they were really losing drivers left and right. 50s, 60s, and 70s, and finally they changed the safety rules and improved the cars, and a lot of those drivers burned to death.
Yeah,
which was a shame to see.
Well, I'll tell you, I've never been a fan of driving open wheel. I've never have driven an open wheel because I look at what I think to be so dangerous they are. In NASCAR, two wheels hit together, and they talk about just a little rubbing noise. Okay, you hit two wheels together in open wheel, and you've got a very, very serious accident with two cars.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. And when you see those cars in action, it's amazing how fast they travel around those turns and those curves, and the kind of reactions that those drivers have to handle those cars around those tracks. They are very impressive. Whenever I've watched those guys in action, it's never been boring.
Yep. Well, as you know, 2 weeks ago I was on the track at COTA, and that is a track that Formula One goes to every year, and that is just an incredible 3.4-mile road course that is state of the art. I mean, this place is no more than 3 years old, and it is just gorgeous. One of the most beautiful facilities I've ever seen involving automobile racing. It was gorgeous.
Yeah. Yep. I can only imagine you had a chance to drive your Viper.
Yes.
I was here last week. I think you said you got it up to 140 or
140, 150. We're right around that area. Yes.
That would be amazing to be able to do that in a car. And I've never been at that rate of speed before, but that would be just mind-boggling for me. I would love it.
Well, I was on Charlotte Motor Speedway a number of years ago, a lot of years ago, in my Pantera, and I had that up to 175.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
Yeah. Of course, that's I think it's a 2.5 mile or 2 mile oval. So you've got a good straightaway there, which you don't have at COTA. But right. It's COTA is the road course, not meant for a large straightaway. So a lot of fun, really is.
Do you remember what kind of RPMs you were tacking up to at that speed in the Pantera?
6,500, 6,300, somewhere around there.
Wow.
We're right there near red line.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Ironically, though, I was only in fourth gear. Fifth gear, I was not in yet. But I don't think fifth gear is not a real big pulling gear, so I don't think we got much farther. They used to say the Pantera's high speed was 159. That was to make the insurance companies happy back in the 70s. There have been people that own stock Panteras that have had them up to 175 and 185.
Wow. Yeah. And how did she feel at that speed?
Well, the wipers were jumping a little bit, but that's it. Everything else was fine. She wasn't shaking, rattling, or rolling. She was doing fine. But the wipers, after I went through the first couple laps, I came in the pits and took the wipers off. I didn't think about doing that ahead of time, but we took the wipers off after that, and then she was just steady as can be.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. Of course, we're talking about a mid-engine car there that is designed for extreme handling around that kind of track, and that is a true exotic.
Well balanced, also very well balanced.
How did the Viper handle the track?
Well, the Viper did really well, both of them. I took both my Vipers there, and the 2013 and the 2003, and they both did extremely well. I mean, the road course is a mean course for brakes and tires, no doubt about it. But it handled it real well. I didn't have any brake pedal fade or any problem with it, and we were doing about 15 laps a session. So it was pretty intense.
Wow. Yeah. Did you prefer one to the other on the track? Did you feel that one?
I like the 2013 I like better because it had stability control. 2003 only has ABS, so the 2013 was a little more forgiving. It really helped. A lot of people tell me when you get on the track, oh, take all that stuff off. You know what? You can still do a whole lot in the 2013 Viper before that stability control kicks in. But I'm telling you, when it kicks in, you want it. Simple as that. That corrects a whole lot of mistakes that human beings do.
Right.
Yep, that was great.
Really cool stuff.
Yep, all 3 locations are available in the Frederick area. You guys are doing very well. New Market, also Liberty Town, and then the jewel of the Dynamic Automotive Collection is the Urbana location, which you're almost celebrating, what, 9 years?
9 years coming up, yes.
9 years. Very good. So isn't that hard to believe? I mean, I bet you just remember it was like yesterday when you were talking about buying that property and getting that going.
Yeah, it just goes by so quickly like that, yeah.
Very good. Well, great to have you here, Jose. You lost your lower third for some reason, but I know, give out your phone number one more time and your contact information.
That's 301-694-6250. I'm here from 8 to 6 Monday through Friday and 8 to noon on Saturday. Thank you, Dave.
And of course, no problem, Jose. And your website is dynamicautomotive.net. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back with you in just a few moments, okay?
Great.
All right. Dave Woodward's got a picture for us. Do you have a contest tonight, too?
Yeah, I do have a contest.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's see the picture of that 69 Camaro. This has been originally raced since 1969 by the original owner.
Let me see. First, there's the picture I was sharing with you on the side of John Gadosh's car. That's super cool.
By the way, Thursday and Friday last week, the most incredible sporting events I have ever been to.
Absolutely.
I mean, nothing even touches it. I've been to Ravens playoff games. I've been to World Series games for the Orioles. But I'm telling you, especially Thursday night, that crowd Thursday night, which I was there, was the most involved crowd with a sporting event that I've ever been a part of. I mean, they were chanting outside the ballpark before they let us in. Let's go O's. Okay? We get in Utah Street, they're chanting. We get inside the ballpark, they're chanting. When the announcer announced J.J. Hardy, and he always does it, J.J. Hardy, right? The whole crowd did the same thing with the announcer. And then when the game started, even when Detroit hit 2 home runs in a row and tied up the game 2-2, the very next pitch Tillman made was a strike, and the crowd was right back into it. It was fantastic.
Awesome.
The best sporting event I've ever been to. All right, I digress. Let's go O's. You betcha.
And there's Gary's car.
Oh, that's neat. And that's a good-looking car too.
It's absolutely beautiful. Now look at
a beat-up race car.
Funny story. Look at the hood. See how it's got the black hood? He says, Dave, I've been racing this car for since 1969, and he had a small cow hood on it. Now, due to the super sport specifications, the rules, somebody figured out that car didn't come with that hood that year. So,
Oh man.
like last year, he had to find a stock hood and stick it on there. He hasn't had a chance to get it painted yet. But inside the trailer, actually inside the RV, they have the other hood, which is just a beautiful flame, a ghost flame job. And when this thing is out in the sun, I mean, it pops like I've never seen. It's just a beautiful car. But I have one picture here of the. Let me see. This is the engine compartment.
Okay.
And this is a 350 Chevy. It's got a steel block. It's got steel heads. They are the cast iron heads, and a quadrajet carburetor.
Wow.
It's running the stock bore. Actually, I think they're allowed a 60 over bore. This car has run a best of the quarter mile in 9.7 seconds with a naturally aspirated 350 engine with a quadrajet, and
that's amazing.
That's what the super stock class is all about. They just keep taking these things apart. Of course, you can do a lot of head modifications, but the valves are the original size. They're the 194 valves, 194 160s, and so basically a small valve head. And I think, let me see if I got. Oh, here, you'll like this. Now these are the big boys. This is the Alanabi team, and these guys are from the country. Actually, the team is owned by a sheik in the country of Qatar, and now I don't know if you can see, but if you look all the way over to the left-hand side, they actually had a sports bar with football playing and some soft drinks, and you talk about some funding. This is all oil money coming from overseas right here.
Wow!
And he should thank us.
But yeah, they had quite an impressive display.
All right, well, we're ready for your contest, sir.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a repeat because last week no one got this, surprisingly. And and Ken, I did send Ken his, what was it, the Cajun
chili sauce?
And
chili sauce, whatever, yep.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got it by now. I sent that last week. So once again, whoops, let me get out of this.
Okay.
Here we go. What is this automotive part? Come on, people. This is not that hard.
Wow.
All right. What part is it? Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Oh, I think so.
Yep.
So I got some more hats available. So jasperman73@gmail.com.
All right.
Hit me up and I'll send you a hat. You got to guess the
The first correct answer, emailed to Dave at jasperman73@gmail.com, wins the Jasper camouflage hat, which everyone needs in their life. That's for sure. Yep. That way no one can see your head. All right. Well, Dave, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to take a few moments for some selfless examination here. Let people know what I do. I host a radio program every Saturday morning. It starts at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. You can watch and listen to the whole show, which is a total of 5 hours, at daveserio.com. That's DAVESERIO, daveserio.com. And we air the show on 2 Baltimore radio stations, 7 to 8 on Q1370 in Baltimore, and also 8 to 10 on AM 680 WCBM. That's the 50,000-watt power station in Baltimore. It's the strongest AM station in the Baltimore area. And then we go 11 to 12 in the Frederick, Maryland area. That's Jose's background there. Frederick, Maryland on AM 930 WFMD, which is called Free Talk 930. And then, of course, I usually take a long break and wait till next week. Now, of course, I have an auto repair shop that I run full-time, Monday through Friday, and that is in Bel Air, Maryland, in Harford County, and that's called Vehicle Service Plus. So we appreciate you guys staying with us this evening. Go back to Jose real quick. Jose, thank you very much for being with us this evening. And if you have if you live or work in the Frederick area, you need to use Dynamic Automotive. We even offer a little deal if they mention my name, Dave Serio, or the radio program You Ought to Know. You guys are nice enough to give the customers 10% off the total ticket.
Absolutely. 10% off parts and labor. All you have to do is mention Dave Serio or You Ought to Know. And, we love you up here in Frederick, Dave.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. I love being there. And I'm glad you guys are doing well. That's important. And you've got a lot of great people working for you, and I'm glad you're keeping them busy.
Thank you. Always a pleasure being here.
Thank you. 301-694-6250 is Jose's number. Dave Winward from Jasper Engines, thanks for the contest. We've got, of course, the first person to give the correct answer to what part this particular part is, and all they have to do is get the first one to email at jasperman73@gmail.com, and they've got themselves a Jasper hat. Thanks for all the pictures, and thanks for the video, and the boring video, should we say, and also thank you very much for the contest, Dave.
Thank you, and I'll be talking to you next week.
All right, sounds good. We look forward to everybody joining us live next Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. If by some chance you're watching this on archive, we'd love to have you live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on YouAutoKnowLive.com. I'm Dave Serio. On behalf of Dave Winward, Jose Bueso, and Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop, we thank you very much for watching tonight, and we look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday night. Go O's! Talk to you later.